I have literally combed through every frame of footage in Wumpa League's... Wait, no, sorry. Crash Team Rumble's reveal. After 2 years of calling it Wumpa League, it's going to take some time to get used to that. And found what I believe to be every detail that was shown off in the trailer. This trailer is jam-packed with awesome content that gives us an idea as to some of the mechanics that the game will feature, like stage hazards, summons, and more, along with a new character to play that's exclusive to the game. Let's talk about it. What's up guys, Canadian Guy here, and back with a deep analysis of the brand new reveal trailer of Crash Team Rumble, Crash Bandicoot's newest entry into the series.
I thought you were dead.
My death was greatly exaggerated. So, you're the punk I've heard about.
There is a lot that we have to go through, so we're just gonna get right into it. But before we begin, I noticed a lot of people who were a bit confused as to what the genre of this game is. So I wanted to quickly read what Activision themselves said in a recent PR announcement. Quote, "In Crash Team Rumble, fans can play as Crash, Dingodile, and a host of other friends and frenemies, each of which has their own distinct power, personality, and playstyle, as they compete across wild and varied arenas in 4v4 team-based online multiplayer action. To lead their squad to victory, players will slide, smash, bump, and bash as a team to be the first to bank the most Wumpa Fruit in their drop-off zone, while simultaneously defending the opponent team's drop zone. This type of game is not only unique for the Crash franchise, but incredibly unique as a general genre. I don't remember ever asking someone if their favorite game was a PvP third-person platforming team-based objective brawler. Anyway, the point is there's not much to compare this game to, so make sure to keep an open mind. With that said, let's get to the trailer breakdown. I'll be showing everything that I found in chronological order, but I will be jumping around the trailer a bit to try and give context to the different things that I found. Right away, we start off by seeing Crash and his other 3 team members, N.Brio, Female Entropy, and Tawna. Then we zip over to the other side and find the opposing team is Coco, Dingodile, Neo Cortex, and the newest character to this roster, and exclusive to Wumpa League, Cat-Bat. More on them later. Right away, I want to explain that it's not good versus evil, but simply blue team versus red team. I know some people commented that maybe Coco for some reason had turned evil, but that is not the case. This is not Crash Bash where specific characters are for specific sides. Any amount of good or bad guys can play on either team, which is kind of funny because this can create a bit of an odd dynamic, especially this shot here of alternate timeline Tawna and Female Entropy fist bumping. Even though Female Entropy literally killed Crash and Coco in alt Tawna's timeline. But you know, details, schmeetails, let's just play some Crash Team Rumble. The wide shot reveals that Team Blue and Red have colored starting points. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the whole point of the game is to collect Wumpa Fruit and store it in your bank. That is why the characters on both sides are chasing Wumpa Fruit more than actually engaging with each other. Except for apparently Cortex. He sees this as a chance to finally destroy that blasted Bandicoot, which of course Crash takes advantage of, teases Cortex, and grabs some fruit and takes off. Now this isn't exactly a non-combative game, as we see Brio transform and Hulk smash Cortex. When he does though, you can see that Wumpa Fruit actually pops out of Cortex before he promptly gets yeeted across the map. The point of combat is to knock out the Wumpa Fruit that enemy characters are holding. Then you grab that said Wumpa Fruit and place it into your own bank. So while combat wouldn't be a focus at the start of the match, it will most definitely escalate as the match continues. We finally then shift over to actual live gameplay, and in this shot here we can see Crash is hitting a box with a 3x multiplier on it. Obviously it's some kind of a power-up that might affect the number of Wumpa Fruit you get. It could triple the amount of Wumpa Fruit you collect in a short period of time. It could triple the amount of Wumpa that's in that specific box. It could triple your score when you go to bank it. We don't know any of those details as of yet. As we switch to the next scene, there's actually 2 new interesting things here. First off, we can see an attack from Female Entropy, where she drops out of the sky and smashes the ground with her tuning fork, sending out black orbs from the point of impact. Not only that, but we also see Dingodile have basically a death tornado spin that's comparable to Crash's power-up from Crash Bandicoot Warped. Once again though, the details of this attack are not yet expanded upon. Very quickly here, we actually see a power-up that was actually found earlier this year after some data mining of Crash Bandicoot 4 on PC. That is a piano drop power-up. It's actually hard to see on this angle as it hits Coco, but later on you actually can see Cortex use it to try and stop Crash from scoring the final Wumpa and winning the game. It seems that this is going to be a gadget that can be used by anyone to assault their enemies Acme style. Now, there also seems to be this random red hologram box that shows up that allows members of the corresponding team to run through it and gain a speed boost. Again, it's hard to see it in this clip alone, but you can see with context that Coco gets a red trail and increased movement speed as Crash chases after her. The biggest question that I had were these platinum looking relics that showed up throughout the trailer, but I believe I've generally figured out what they are probably used for. As you collect these platinum relics, they are used to summon or use power-ups that are set up around the stage. Let's look at this screenshot specifically. As you can see, there is an Uka Uka hologram coming up from this metal plate. On that metal plate is the collectible platinum relic, which tells me that the platinum relics are required to access this power-up. In the trailer, we can actually see this power-up in action, as Coco seemingly uses it to rain fire from the sky and create a stage-wide hazard for the opposing team. In the background, we actually can see Coco just skipping along and collecting Wumpa Fruit while wearing Uka Uka, immune to the imminent death that surrounds her. Back to Tawna jumping on the light up platforms though. As you can see here, as she lands on each one of these gem platforms, they change from the opposing team's color to her team's. But on the left side of the screen, you actually can see that as she lands on each platform, a relic spawns in, meaning that these platforms bring a lot of value to your team, especially if you're going for those power-ups. Now, there is a detail here that I am unsure about. Remember that speed up hologram square? We can see it active in the background here, but as Tawna lands on the second platform, the hologram actually shuts down. Now, I am unsure if this speed boost is affected by the light up platforms, or if it just shut down after a set amount of time. We will probably know later. Quickly, before we continue, I do want to say that if you're enjoying today's video and want to see more Crash Team Rumble content, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to stay notified on everything this game has to offer, because I will be covering everything about it. Anyway, back to the analysis. Now, in just about every screenshot posted about Embryo, we can see him in this hulking, angry form. However, looking at the in-game gameplay, we can see that he also runs around in his regular base form as well. And according to this shot here, it looks like he has some kind of a double jump. Moving over to his boss, Cortex brings a similar ability that he has in Crash Bandicoot 4, which allows Cortex to transform things with his ray gun. Now, in this shot here, we see Cortex shoot Crash Bandicoot twice, along with what seems to be a charged attack. On his first shot, it seems to stun Crash, but on his second, we can see that Crash gets turned into a warthog. The second shot, however, seemed as if it was a charged attack, so it is unclear if the charged attack is what turned Crash into the warthog, or if it's two shots back to back. Again, we'll have to see later. In the background here, we actually can see a poison spitter plant that was on Dino Dash. It's possible this is a relic summon that is protecting the red team's bank from blue team trying to stop them from scoring. The newest member introduced, Catbat, whom we saw teased at the end of Crash Bandicoot 4 in the post-credit scenes, seems to have a dive bomb ability, allowing them to attack enemies from afar. We can see as Coco runs through the speed gate, a bat reticle shows up with Catbat's face on it. It's also seemingly colored red to signify which team he is on, to let everybody know who is diving where. He then comes crashing in on Crash and Brio, stopping their advance on Coco. Now, back to the CGI sections. We can see Tawna stopping Dingodile and immediately jumping and summoning what seems to be a giant metal crate platform for her and Crash. Once again, seemingly looking like another gadget that can be used and picked up like the Acme piano. There will likely be a lot more gadgets revealed as we get closer to the release of the game. Finally, we get to the climactic scene of the trailer where Crash Air Jordans the final Wumpa into his bank. Before he gets up there though, we see him jumping on the light up pillars that we saw Tawna jumping on earlier. Then we see the Wumpa get all charged up along with the blue team's bar having the same energy flowing from it, and see Crash dunking it in, assuredly winning the match. I am curious if these pillars also give some kind of a boost to your score if you use them before scoring some Wumpa Fruit. That's everything that I found in the Crash Team Rumble trailer. Did I miss anything? Let me know in the comment section below, and stay tuned for more Crash Team Rumble content. I'll see you guys in the next video and or live stream. Bye bye!